Welcome back, everybody, to the wonderful wide world of Pokemon. I am here, Meelz. I am here with my co-host Pafif.
Hello.
Listen, two episodes in the span of 6 months. We doing something, bro.
I know. It's like 1997 over here.
We're joined by someone that, if you listen to any other stuff that I do, you're pretty familiar with. And then I guess, I don't know, we've all been on each other's pods, except, like, I don't know if Pafif has a secret pod that we don't know about.
What? Do I? No, I don't.
No, all right. Well, we still got time for that. But you listen to the A Show, you listen to the Black Print Network, you listen to everything of the Rather. Of course, it's J5. He is here to help us usher in, to help us celebrate Pokemon Day, man. It's Pokemon Day.
The girl took me from Melton. Heatran.
What song is that?
Spider-Man, Superman, Meltran, Heatran. Meltan, Heatran.
Oh my god.
I knew what you were doing.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
The city is pretty when it's dead, just like a flower. It's Pokemon Tower.
Oh yeah, is it blue?
We don't get a lot of Justin singing.
No, it must be
ever really.
Yeah, it must be Mount Silver. It's the energy of Pokemon Day. That's really what it is. Oh my god,
yeah. You know what? This is the calm before the storm. Because I got some,
hang on. I'm sure the Pokemon Legends ZA,
yes.
Which this Legends subtitle thing is so stupid, by the way. But I know Justin is in the bag for TCG Pocket.
Yep. Yeah.
Sure is.
I'm on the payroll for TCG Pocket. Well, I'll when we get to that part, I'll talk about the things that are hindering me from really enjoying the game a lot after 3 months in.
I was about to say I'm about to start getting in on it.
Yeah. Good, because then you'll understand what some of my gripes with the game thus far, being a mobile card game player as myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen.
Oh, and then what we also have to touch base on what's it called? With all the, it's like the poker game.
It's a Pokemon poker game?
No. It's not.
Balatro. It's talking about Balatro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that would kind of be fun.
It's like one of my oldest qualities that I don't really know what Balatro is, even though I have numerous friends insisting that I play it.
Thank you. Balatro is everywhere. I'm shocked you don't see it. People playing it on the train, Meals.
I don't take the train actively. I have no job. But...
Oh, on the train for no reason, and you will see people playing Balatro.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. I didn't know that was a new hotness, but here we are.
Yeah.
With that said, it's Pokemon Day. It's to celebrate the birth of, I guess, Pokemon a great way. Pokemon does listen. If the Pokemon company knows anything, it's how to get to the money somehow. Because shortly before, I don't know if you guys saw this. Shortly before Pokemon Day was actually like unveiled, they announced a collaboration with Honda for a motorcycle that is designed by designing the thing of Koraidon and Miraidon from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Wow, and if it runs anything like those games, then I would not buy that motorcycle.
It says, so I'm taking this from Cerebi.
The bike looks kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. So it was brought to me. I think Jamal hit me up first about it because he was super excited. And I was like, wait, they're making a motorcycle? Like a line of bikes, or just like a bike? Or because I was like, there's no way they're making a multiple. Like, who's going to buy this? Unless it's like $3,000 and only 3 exist. But apparently it's just a bike, a real life Koraidon that will be on display in Tokyo.
It's like
of course,
an art exhibit, basically. It looks like.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, I wouldn't. Honda's got money to spend to be able to spend it on this.
Ever since I saw Diddy crash on that motorcycle,
on the "I'll Be Missing You" video.
Yeah. That was such a crazy way to come in. But I told myself I'd never drive a motorcycle because he got up after that. He's supposed to be dead. Is the theory that he was actually dead in the video? This is listen again. I understand how crazy this is. Is the theory
this is not your pod? You're crazy. You just bring up any crazy thing. Yeah.
Is the idea that he's actually dead in the "I'll Be Missing You" video? Because there's no way anyone gets up from that. That
it would have been wise to fake it and disappear. It turns out.
I feel like if I know people, I mean, Diddy's not really from Harlem, but he's from Uptown, and he kind of like reps Harlem anyway. Their line of thinking is, this shit is cool, and it would be cool if I survived. That would be really fire if I survived. So I'm pretty sure he's like, nah, I think the motorcycle, and you know, I have not watched that. I mean, I have no intention on watching that video ever.
Oh, trust me, you will never see it again. So.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but that's a funny aside. But yeah, I don't know. I would have never. I'm sure we'll see photos at some point in the future, people like fake riding it and all this other stuff like that. It's only going to be on display from March 7th through March 9th. So I'm really actually confused of what the real true purpose of this is.
Yeah, damn, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's really nothing. Like, for instance, like I thought it was going to be something way, way more because just aside, I don't even know if it's up, but I got paid for it anyway. Complex, I was writing an article for Complex because Toyota, they got into the anime space and they have their own actual original anime called Grip.
It's called Grip. Yeah.
Yeah. Each episode is like 45 seconds long.
Okay.
Oh wow, Mappa, watch out.
Yeah. It was produced by Intertrend. This is all the things I know. I don't get paid to do this, but I got paid to write about it. But I thought they were going to do more like something like that, but like just this motorcycle. I was like, okay, you know what? Honda, Pokemon. Everyone's trying to get in on the bag. Mm-hmm. So that was a reveal for Pokemon Day. I don't think there was any more reveals. We haven't been on, Pat, since essentially the leaks that happened a number of months ago, which was honestly the most exciting thing, way more exciting than anything.
You always are.
Anything that didn't actually happen today. But it was, you know, I looked actually at a bunch of the leaks. Some of the leaks were wrong, especially about Pokemon Za. They said,
actually, that's rare. Usually they're like, you know, 100% accurate.
Yeah,
which is funny because all of the Pocket leaks were correct to a point where people were actually getting served advertisements for the new mini set that is coming out. We're recording this tomorrow. There was a video. Spraggle was one of the major Pocket community content creators. Was like, I don't know what's fake.
Spraggle.
I was like, I don't know this. He was like, I don't know. This looks fake. I'm like, bro, none of this looks fake if they got it from their Instagram. Somebody clearly hit the go button on the pushed advertisement early. Like, oh well, it has all of the evolutions of Garchomp on there. You can't do that if you got an EX. I'm just like, bro, they get like a advertisement firm to create this, and they none of these ever line up that way, but it was completely correct, and so like I will say that the leaks for Pocket have been on point right down to the rank matches that are coming in March as well.
Well, I love that. Listen, let's talk about Pokemon TCG P.
All right. It
actually was revealed shortly after we did the last podcast. I was thinking,
we've never talked about this before.
Yeah, I was like, why did we talk about this last time? It came out 9 days after we recorded the last episode. October 29th last year actually was revealed on Pokemon Day last year, and then it came out October 30th last year as well. Pokemon TCG Pocket, man. I've been looking forward to this pretty much when they showed the little trailer and just showed like, oh, you just be ripping open cards. I was like, bro, just let me rip open shit for like 6 hours in a row. I would love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I don't care what they get me or what they do. It was revealed. One of the things that initially turned me off was I saw that it was the same kind of like engine they use for Pokemon Home, which I hate what they do for Pokemon Home all the time. So that almost turned me off on it. But realistically, like waking up picking up a pack, pulling open a pack. It still hits until it no longer hits. But
Yeah.
but Justin, what were your early thoughts on the game, and how has it evolved over the last number of few months?
Well, Pokemon Pocket was extremely exciting because it was announced at a time where the other mobile card game that I was playing, Marvel Snap, was actually going through really kind of a downturn, and now they're kind of leveled out over the past couple of weeks for Snap. I still don't play it, but I do watch as just like a background thing. But um, I looked at Pokemon Pocket as being like, okay, this is a way for me to get back into the TCG because the TCG had just grown so much, right? Like there's so much Pokemon. There's mad Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I generally make
I
it
mean, do
my
you, Justin? If you're, I mean, you're even a little bit older than me. Do you even remember? Like my memory of the original card game, I think, like I remember uh, Jungle and Fossil, and then I don't know anything else after that.
Yeah, that was really kind of where I left off at. I had the Game Boy Color game, which is still amazing to this day, by the way. If you guys haven't played it yet, I think it's on Nintendo's eShop for the Switch. But it it was going to get me back into the groove of things. So I was there day one. I dropped about $50 on the game. The day that it came out, I ripped open packs. I started playing. Really, I
Hmm.
played a lot. I put at least about 70 to 75 hours into the game between October and when the first mini set came out. I believe it's what was it, the Tropical Island, whatever it's called, Mythical
Yeah, the
Island.
mythical island. Yeah.
When that came out, and again, what I love about just to be clear, like I love how streamlined the game is in terms of battling. I love that they take away a lot of the BS, a lot of the prize system and stuff like that. They take a lot of that out because it's very hard to understand if you're somebody that's coming back in.
Yeah.
Um, I do love that the way the game is balanced as well is balanced by the mini set. So all of the questions we had about how are we going to beat Mewtwo EX and Genetic Apex were answered literally 2.5 months later when they put out Mythical Island and they had Mew and they had Celebi and they all shut down the Mewtwo decks and
Yeah.
everybody stopped playing Mewtwo. And I love that. And again, the way Marvel Snap does cards is they drop one card a week, like literally
Mm.
one card a week. And then you have to build a meta around that card. And it's very hard and tough to create a meta around a card because just think about it. The day that one card comes out, everyone who's able to, free to play or people who pay money to do it, everyone's playing the card. So all the meta looks very similar. And with Pokemon Pocket, you're able to evolve that meta in ways that I thought was really exciting at the time. Right now, as we get past Space Time Smackdown, I'm noticing some concerning things that I don't know if they're going to be able to fix by the time we get
They, I don't know.
what? What?
No, I mean, I just have my experience with, and they're not the same company, but it's just like Pokemon mobile games in general. At some point, you're getting too close to having them all. And they decide to throttle that process immensely.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
say this as a Pokemon Go player. Um, the game evolved over the past few years at a very quick pace, and it was still very popular. It has slowed down tremendously, where
Yeah.
it's not
Yes.
even that fun to play it on an active basis. There'll be some events where you can have fun with it, and it's usually surrounded around events, right? It's
Yeah.
usually like, and for instance, like when the new booster pack drops, which will drop later tonight, everyone will be like, "Oh my god, yes, I'll be able to collect cards again." But really, outside of that,
It's not much
it,
going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a dip and it takes a lull real
and
hard.
and and to be fair, they did announce it was correctly leaked that ranked mode was coming, and honestly, your mileage may vary on whether you want ranked mode in your card game. I will say that ranked mode is where
Why
all
haven't they had ranked mode before?
because ranked mode is where all the sweatsters come out, all the sweaty players come out, and
That's
with
funny as fuck.
with that, it's like, but again, it stagnates the meta. So like everyone's going to be playing the best deck, everyone's going to be playing the best cards, and it leaves out players who might have been able to make a deck with just their free to play cards. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you were able to play those, you know, accurately with what you had, but then when rank comes in, it's going to be all the players that are just trying to get rank one or top 100 or top 50. that's very concerning. So I'm wondering how they're going to do this, right? Where they'll be able to really make this enjoyable for free to play players and people who pay to play, because I, I like how chill the battle system is in Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah,
I
I played
like
it
that.
once. I played it once. I'm not a battler. I'm a collector.
Yeah, like
I'm
I
Brock.
for, I for one like the idea that I can just get on. I don't have to worry about, somebody trying to take my head off. Like Marvel Snap's ladder, their rank mode is
Sure.
is literally the reason I stopped playing the game. Like
Yeah.
it is toxic. They have emotes. So when someone beats you, they'll emote you. Like, it's crazy. Like it is legitimately one of some of the most disrespectful shit you've ever seen. And like it's very hard for people who just want to get in and play the game. You can't do that on Marvel Snap. You can do that in Pokemon Pocket, and that's why I love how chill it was. But now with Pokemon Pocket, as we go into this new mini set, because I think the big set comes out in April, so we still got another. But literally, Space Time and SmackDown came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now we have a new mini set. This is actually the shortest amount of time between sets that we've had so far in the meta. So they're shifting the meta again with this Arceus pack that's coming out. And you know, there's a really big kind of meta problem right now. I don't think you guys know, but Executor is like the best deck in the game right now, and it's
Mm.
shitting on niggas right now.
Well,
It's
That's
going
so
crazy.
funny.
they usually do that. So it even happens like in Pokemon Go, for instance. Like there'll be a number once a Pokemon is introduced that's really stronger than a lot of other things, or just way more useful. For instance, like if it has like an effect with its move that like lowers your attack or something like this, it'll be spammed and used throughout the thing. Like I personally don't battle anymore. I've given up. Like as time goes on, a lot of things become way more frivolous in this game. Like me shiny hunting, me battling, me anything. I really just like the story and catching the Pokemon sometimes.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
now it's like in Pocket is crown rares.
yeah,
I probably have like 2 crown rares, 3 crown, because that's how rare they are. And like drop rates for Space Time Smackdown were even worse. I'm not done with
they
Space Time Smackdown yet.
they haven't banked on, and usually this is kind of like their ace. Once they introduce like shinies,
That's crown rares.
okay,
Yeah,
I
those are
haven't.
the you'll probably literally it's like 0.000001 chance you'll get a crown rare in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, essentially, and like people will go hunt for those. Like me, I'm shiny guy. I'm
Yeah.
fucking hunting fucking shiny. Like
But I
I don't
mean,
want to if it don't bling. You know what I'm saying?
but I mean, from what we've seen, and I'll talk about it from the collector end, what excites me, and from the actual battling end, what excites me about it right now. Regardless of where the meta is right now, regardless of how I feel about rank matches, I do my favorite Pokemon are in this pack: Tyranitar, Garchomp. I love these two motherfuckers. I'm happy to get 1,000 of those cards. Like I cannot wait to get those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really
Well,
interesting.
don't say it because you might end up getting it.
I know. There's an EX Probopass, the nose nigga, the stone guy.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Probopass.
there's an
Oh yeah,
EX.
he's huge in Pokemon Unbound.
He's a EX. Like they're like everyone's like, what the fuck, an EX Probopass? Like what the fuck? Like Arc, but the main thing, and I'll use this to kind of cross over into the battling aspect, is Arceus is in this pack, and obviously he's like God, right? And
Yeah.
so he gives certain Pokemon that are coming in this pack special abilities. Raichu, I believe Tyranitar, and a couple of Heatran, and a lot of these other Pokemon have special abilities that they can only use when Arceus is on the bench. So the whole thing is now they've started creating a new archetype, and that's the Arceus archetype, where this card unlocks different abilities for the cards that you have. And I think that is going to be something that's really going to be cool. I don't know if it'll shake up the meta that much, but it's really cool to be able to use like a new version of Raichu, obviously, and a new version of all these cards to do really cool shit. I will say, from what it looks like, Tyranitar is going to be ass in terms of a card, but the
Mm.
new EX Garchomp looks incredible. He looks like way better than the one we have right now.
I love Garchomp.
Yeah,
He's
me
my
too.
favorite. He reminds me of my dog.
He's the Garchomp. Garbite, is that the baby?
Gabite, yeah.
Yeah, but
Gabite and
he was my starter in Unbound.
oh, all right. Yes. I forgot you mentioned that.
Hey,
Listen,
actually,
this
Meal, since we talked last time, I lost that file on my phone, and I had to do the starting a new file, which is both like, oh, I don't want to do this, and also like, oh no, don't make me play again, anything but that.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, it's been great.
Yeah. Fucking, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Um, but with this, and I mean, I overall like the game. It's a lot more of a real cheaper habit than actually collecting the Pokemon cards. And I don't know if they realize, I'm not sure what really went into it. Maybe it was a Marvel Snap thing. Um, but then also there was a lot of like toxicity growing behind collecting Pokemon cards, like essentially
Yeah.
like pulling things and then like people going in stores and like the collectors thing. And it's still there. I'm just assuming like, you know, it's just not as prominent now or not as dangerous now that everyone's able to access this thing through TCGP. But
Some of these videos of people stocking up, what not stocking up because they're gonna sell them, but like the boxes of cards at like Costco and shit or wherever is just insane.
yeah. But I think the only real one of the major issues I guess they had recently was when they just introduced trading to the game. Um
Oh yes,
and people are not happy. Like
they're
this
not
shit is
happy.
ass.
They're not happy about trading because it's terrible. And I've only used trading once, and but I will say that the developers DNA have been very very transparent, and I think that that's something that I feel like Marvel Snap has been doing as well, and they've been really good at it. And we were kind of concerned if they were going to be transparent in how they're going to talk about their card game. They've been transparent in saying like, hey, we know that trading is not something that's up to par, so we're going to give you this for free and just hold on for an update. So I would imagine there's going to be an update. It's been said that you can now trade Space Time SmackDown cards because you couldn't do that before, but between
Mhm.
sets. So they're actually opening up trading a lot more tomorrow with the new patch.
So TCG Pocket is just essentially, I mean, it's just another avenue. In the first month, it generated $120 million.
Mhm.
Um,
It took a big stinky shit on Marvel Snap in the first
yeah.
30 days.
Well, this.
We were a companion a few weeks ago, and I look over before the movie starts, and Justin's opening packs on his phone.
Well, it's something to do. Like
Bro,
I went to.
hang on, boys. I got a big question. I gotta please choose the booster pack you want?
Oh,
We
go
got
Mewtwo
Mewtwo,
every time.
Charizard, and Pikachu.
Mewtwo, yeah,
Mewtwo has the best
Okay,
packs every time. Yeah.
choose
yeah,
this one. Let's see. Okay, this appears to be using so much battery from my phone.
yeah. It's a pretty intensive game. That's
Trace
why.
the line to open. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Let me see what you get. Let us know what you get.
Okay, we got Bulbasaur. I think he's the classic Bulbasaur.
Yep. Classic.
All right. We got. I'm so tap the card. Okay. We got a Shelder. I don't even recognize this art, but it looks old.
They
Classic.
mix and they mix and match
Okay.
original. They mix and match original OG and I think cards from other sets too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I got Dratini. We got Sandslash, who's actually pretty good. We got shiny Marowak EX.
Look at you.
Yeah, four of
Come on,
these
man.
diamonds. Uh, all right, that was the open. Here's my opening results, which show me the exact cards I just opened.
Yeah, and they'll tell you flip it
Okay,
and put it in your thing of a jigger.
swipe on the cards to register them to the decks. Okay, great.
It's it's actually I don't open it too often. It's actually quite intense. It's like Pokemon Home, right? Pokemon Home is also a very intensive app for your phone. Less on the actual Switch itself. The Switch it can handle it, but Pokemon Home, like this one, requires you not only to just update the app in general, but then it was like download like 400 megabytes of something real quick, and we'll so we can continue running the way we want to run and stuff like that. But it's a pretty, like, for me, waking up, open up a pack, see what I get. I mean, it's been less cool over the last 3 weeks because I don't get shit. Also, Pat, check when you get to the packs, check the corner to
Okay.
see
Yes.
if they're bent. So
If you get
some
it's a big theory that Mills is about to drop on you right now.
yeah, so
Okay. Is it?
the
Wait, hang on. Is it? Who is it? Is it a Meals theory or is it like
no,
a
no, no,
theory that
no, no,
exists
no.
outside of Meals? Okay.
No, this is very much an internet
I would
theory.
so much have preferred it if it was just something you specifically were like paranoid and mad about.
I wish I could take credit for this, but I cannot. So the bent corner theory is essentially that every time you see a pack within when you're scrolling through, you can only open one of these things anyway. So you'll pick one, and if there's a bent corner, the idea is, or at least the theory is, that there's usually a very rare card in one of those, packs.
Never
So
Okay, and I
failed
can
every
me.
see
Hasn't
the
failed
bent
me yet.
corner on the outside.
you
Yeah.
it, yes, it'll be on the outside. Some will be very prominent, some will not be as prominent.
Okay,
I
and is this
usually
tested?
it it's like the up. It's like the press up and B or press down and B to catch up.
Listen,
Turn your Pokeball into a
more
Master
often,
Ball.
Meal Pat. 75% of the time, it works 75% of the time.
70,
All right.
yeah.
Okay,
There you
okay.
go. That's exactly it. Because I've literally watched the video Austin John Plays, who does it on YouTube, and he was like, I gotta see if this theory works, because this theory sounds like bullshit. And he legitimately pulls 3 fucking fire things the first time out, and he was like, this is still bullshit. Either way, the idea is, anyway, no matter, I don't want to burst your bubble or anything like that. We still do it for, purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because it's worked so many times. But realistically, they're supposed to be the same cards and everything, no matter what you choose.
Yeah,
Um, oh, well, thank you, 6 p.m. driving.
life in the big city.
Yeah. But realistically, we do it because it's how the game works. And usually 75% of the time it works 75% of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, great dopamine hit too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think overall, like this update to Pocket, even though it leaked literally like 8 hours before the Pokemon Day
Yeah.
presentation, but it's hard to, and again, it's hard to keep these leaks from happening because they have to go into the phone clients very early, so that's why they leak so early. But I think the overall a W. I think it's a W. I think there obviously the honeymoon period for Pokemon Pocket is over, and I think that ended with trading and Space Time Smackdown and everything that happened there. But it's up to them to make this exciting and make me want to get on the game again. And I'm hoping to get back to battling again now that some of my favorite characters, favorite Pokemon are actually in the game now.
If you can pull the good ones.
But I got about 250 hourglasses or whatever the hell they're called saved up.
So you're good. You're gonna be pulling them
I'm
tomorrow
pulling
morning.
I'm pulling 10. Well, no, we get a 10 over 10 p.m. over here.
Well, I tried when they launched the last pack, I tried at 1 a.m. to pull them, and then the game was fucking freezing. I was like, I'll just
Oh
wake up
yeah,
tomorrow.
the freeze shit. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
listen, I'll go in at midnight. It'll be done then.
yeah, absolutely.
It is funny how quickly this, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way like I usually would, but it's funny how quickly this came up after like DraftKings and stuff got so big.
mm,
Like just the like not like essentially hitting one button on your phone and looking at a picture is the same as hitting a different button on your phone and looking at a picture, but that we are at the point where that has now been commodified like more than ever.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, and I'm not saying that in a analytical way at all, just kind of as an observation.
It's a good observation. I think they're everything, especially the amount of time we spend on our phone, fully taking advantage of that, especially with this. And I think probably I don't think Pokemon really got into the mobile realm, or at least realized how lucrative it could be until Pokemon Go, which is coming up on, I believe, a decade.
Jeez.
Either this year or next year. I think it's next year.
I mean,
Um,
more pivotal to their success
yeah,
than
it's
any of the mainline games they've released since then.
pretty much. Um, Speaking of the mainline games, let's head over to the Pokemon Presents that's today. I love a good Pokemon Presents, but we have not heard a single bit of news about anything Pokemon related legitimately since last year. And the idea or the theory for me is no Pokemon news is typically bad Pokemon news. That is typically for me. If I don't hear anything, if we don't get updates throughout the year, if there's not another Pokemon presents in like June, and I think also like without the E3 and all this other stuff like that, we've just like stopped getting periodic updates.
Also, I feel like all of these fucking companies got a little bit too, not all of them, but to some degree or another, all of them got a little too big for their britches, and it's like, just go to E3. Who gives a shit? It's like
Yeah.
when Marvel's like, we're not going to Comic-Con, we're just doing our Marvel thing.
No,
it's like,
yeah,
well, okay,
but
well, you could just go to Comic-Con, like, because now all your shit sucks.
I would rather them go. I don't know. There's not any major gaming convention anymore, right, Justin?
What do you mean? Oh no, yeah, E3's dead. E3's dead.
Yeah, E3's dead. They could probably go to a Comic-Con or two and reveal something, but I'm not sure they will go to do that. They should. Just like San Diego or New York or wherever the hell it is. And just pull up and just like take over, because Pokemon's just gonna take over whatever they fucking do anyway.
It's almost crazy, and I get that it doesn't. I mean, it could maybe exist in New York. It probably couldn't exist in LA or Miami. I don't know, maybe, but at least in Japan, I'm surprised there's not a like in-person component to these announcements.
Well, because they got everything else. Like, I don't. Pokemon's on the train stations.
Yeah.
They got the damn
true. Yeah, they're already
Pokemon Center.
Yeah.
They get everything first. You remember the games they used to have, and they used to be like all the gifts, and it's like a movie would come out there, and they get the special Mewtwo from the movie that knows this move, but Americans wouldn't get it, or we would get it like 8 months later, or something along those lines. Like, they get everything.
I do appreciate the Pokemon company still only fuck with Japan first. We get everything second. It don't matter what it is,
except the games. Like, now they've realized like worldwide releases are probably better for the games than anything else, but
it's still like the best exclusive stuff is still over there for sure. Like, you cannot,
for sure.
I mean, we've joked about this in the past, but like, you can't order you have to like find an ordering service to get the Gengar sleeping bag. You can't get you literally can't get it normally, and that's cool.
I look at the Pokemon Poke Jungle account all the time, and they'll just be random cool stuff. Like, they have the Pokemon Cafe was actually going to run in various cafes, and they have this Appleton apple jelly soda that will be appearing all over the place for real. And I'm just like, bro, what do we do over here?
That's like better. That just like the regular product is existing. I mean, it's all the same shit, but it's still cooler than like, that is better than like a tie-in at Pizza Hut or something.
Because like they have, I'm not even sure the Nintendo store still exists in New York, but Nintendo store is one of the more disappointing stores that ever. It's legitimately just plushies and a giant Switch in the middle.
The one in Japan is incredible.
Yeah, no, the Nintendo store in New York is a piece of shit.
I was about to say, I know a guy here who disagrees with that.
The Nintendo store. This Nintendo store is so great that I didn't even get to buy anything because I had fucking I had a sensory overload. Me and my wife had a sensory overload in that bitch, and I was just like, we got to get out of here. Like, I'm not buying shit. We got to.
Where's when I went to
Jessica's sensory overload was fear over the person she married being so in awe in the Pokemon Center. Her sense was fear.
Whereas I walk in the Nintendo store in New York City and I can't leave fast enough because I'm just like, they got some bullshit here, bro. Like,
didn't they close? I think Pokemon Center New York closed too, didn't it?
Well, I don't know if they had the Pokemon Center in New York, but
I thought they did.
Oh wait, yes they did. So it probably did close, but I'm more talking about the Nintendo store, which is just bad. Which is like half a Pokemon store essentially. It's like Pokemon, Super Mario.
Okay, yeah, it was actually store. Opened in 2001, closed in holy shit, closed in 2005 to be turned into Nintendo World, which was replaced by Nintendo New York in 2016.
There you go. So it all flows together.
Yeah. I can't believe, Jesus, it closed in 2005? That's insane.
Listen, the prices of rent, even in 2005, were too high, and it's probably like astronomically higher now.
Yeah, I don't even know how they had to spread out to all Nintendo products to cover the rent check. Justin, have you been to Nintendo Worlds at Universal?
No, I want to go. I mean, literally, me and Pat live 15 minutes away from Universal. But when it came out, the lines were so long. You had to actually get on a waiting list to go. You don't have to
Yeah.
do a waiting list anymore.
Yeah.
So like, we could literally just cruise into that bitch. It's only like
Oh, we
60
might
bucks
have
to
to
get
go
on.
to work.
At the way I feel right now, I might just be a janitor at Universal at this point.
Yeah. Oh
Get
my
on the rides
god.
first.
Let's see. Let's talk about Pokemon Day and the Pokemon Presents that appeared today. So Pokemon Presents it premiered. It's at 6 a.m. for you. I don't know who would wake up on the West Coast to watch this. 9 a.m. They've been pretty fast with all their mobile games. Just like, let's get this shit out of the way. It's 19 minutes. Various people talk. The news of new episodes of Pokemon Concierge, if you like, it's for pretty much for kids and for
Yeah, there's
adults.
some shit on there that I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
I liked Concierge, but it's not a must watch. But it's like Pokemon does this thing where they just create a random anime, a short-lived short thing anime instead of like improving the main anime. So they'll make this like random show. Like there's also the Dragonite and the Postal Worker Company or whatever that Studio Ghibli ripoff anime they just released earlier today, only in Japan. So they have that. New episodes of Pokemon Concierge on Netflix. I'm not sure how much Pokemon's deal with Netflix, if it's going to be up soon or whatever it is. But I just know they're uploading all their shows on YouTube. So it looks I don't know how much long Pokemon's on Netflix.
The future seems to be that they are getting a big bag with Netflix and then doing YouTube to kind of get some other cash on the side because Power Rangers does this as well, or before they lost their deal with Netflix, but they have other seasons on there now.
I don't even think Pokemon is that. The way they stagger the releases of the actual anime on Netflix, no one cares to watch it. Canada gets it before Netflix does, which is unfortunate. Like English episodes, Canada gets before Netflix. That Pokemon Go updates, Pokemon Go Tour Unova is going to be this weekend. Pokemon Masters EX, shout out to everyone who's playing that game, that very, very large game that will be on your phone for God knows how long. Pokemon Sleep, this just feel like
this one made me fucking I'll be honest, I was clicking through by the time this one popped up.
Yeah.
But I see, I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is, what's going on here, and then I get to the end and it's like Pokemon Sleep, and I'm like, okay, man, are you fucking kidding me with this?
Sleep. They announced it.
Does anyone use that? Does anyone use Pokemon Sleep?
I don't think anymore. From what I heard, it makes your phone hot. From what I heard, it makes your phone hot while you're trying to sleep. So I'm not sure. People will use it, but I'm sure they'll I don't even know if they'll discontinue it. They'll just stop updating it. Pokemon Cafe, it's fun if you're like into cute stuff. Pokemon Unite, it's just the random multiplayer mobile and or Switch game that you can just play, and an additional. I can't imagine waiting a year for an update on this shit. Pokemon TCG, which we talked about. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet updates. I have no idea why we're continuing to add shit.
Why? Yeah, I saw that and I thought I was watching the wrong thing.
Yeah, I was like, what? Why do we raid battles? I can't even find like 3 friends who want to pick up their Switch and log on the internet in unison to be able to do this. That's one of those things you probably have to find people on the internet, just randos. But
I'm not fucking doing that.
Pokemon Champions was announced, and it's this new game in development for Nintendo Switch and the iOS and Android. It's essentially, Justin, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pokemon Showdown.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Pokemon Showdown, this is like a mix between Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Showdown. It seems like. So, Pat, are you familiar with Pokemon Showdown?
I'm not. I was gonna make a joke about how it was like Pokemon Stadium, but it's like unsanctioned, like
like UFC.
Yeah, no, well, more like Sammy versus KO.
Oh, yeah, unsanctioned matches. It is official. but it is not sanctioned.
I was cracking up during that. Like, the idea that a match isn't sanctioned, but a referee will still be there to call pinfalls and tap outs. Like, okay.
But it will also be televised.
Yeah,
So
it will also be otherwise completely sanctioned in everything but what we're saying right now.
Oh
so
my
we
god!
will not only make money off of it, but you will be able to see it if someone dies.
Yeah,
But
it's not
Yeah.
But we
responsible.
don't approve of it, and we
No.
actually think it's bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pokemon Showdown was this, to be fair, this unsanctioned game online that would use all the models and all the information from Pokemon. It's essentially the way to do Pokemon battles without actually having to raise any Pokemon yourself. It would just like everyone's level 100.
It's like the the game that people would play on PC to
Yeah.
do the I forgot what it was called.
Pal World.
No, it's
No.
like people play Pokemon, but they use the sprites. But they
use like, that's exactly it. That's exactly
they use it's not like it's not modded. It's like they use the sprites, but they're able to give the Pokemon their own stats.
Essentially,
and they play each other. Okay.
So I used to do that because I didn't really want to battle any or raise any Pokemon, and then it got way too hardcore over there. But it's essentially that. I think they realized that people had been playing Pokemon Stadium for Nintendo Switch or wherever, N64 for streams for so damn long. There's like, let's probably update this game.
They couldn't wait to, and I like to see them, but they couldn't wait to roll out the Dark Lugia.
But it's compatible with home. I'm not sure actually how many Pokemon will actually be able to be in this game. There's over 1,000 Pokemon. I can't imagine.
Listen, I'm watching a trailer. If a baddie across from me playing Pokemon, I'm like, we're not playing this shit. Where are you at? With a baddie. Listen. This is cool. All right.
Yes.
It goes without saying, this is cool. I think this is a cool concept.
I agree.
Is it free to play?
No.
Regardless of that, right? Nintendo slapped me in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Open hand. Because my Pokemon Home subscription re-upped 2 weeks ago, and I said, "God
damn
it!"
Oh my god, yes.
I didn't even remember I had to.
But here's the thing, with me at least. I can't let it go because all my
literally all my shit is in there.
All my shit is in there. So now I feel so dumb because I feel like I've surrendered it to Pokemon. I surrendered my Pokemon back to the Pokemon company because if I don't pay this, I don't get the Pokemon that I've had for a decade and a half back.
Very upset.
So, yeah, we have to continue paying for this. Unfortunately, they got us. But Pokemon Champion seems fun. I got to see more of it, but it seems fun. It eventually transitions. Oh, they also announced that Pokemon will now be localized in Latin American Spanish, which I didn't know it wasn't before.
That was a crazy detour for the announcement video.
Our Latin American friends, we will now have Pokemon for you. And yeah, I didn't know at all. It was like, yeah, Pokemon ZA will be localized in Latin American Spanish. I was like, damn, what were they using?
Yeah, it fucking wasn't. Like, what are they? It's so many.
This is crazy. Shout out to also, I'm not sure of his name. The guy who's deadpan and looking at you, seemingly not happy that he has to announce these Pokemon games. He's I forget what his name was. But anyway, let's get to it. Pokemon Legends EA, Pokemon Legends ZA. We officially, after a year of it being announced, we officially got some footage and an idea of what this game supposedly looks like. The first thing we are shown, or at least one of the first notable things they're shown, are the 3 starters for this game, which people have thoughts on. Because it is Chikorita from Gen 2, Totodile also from Gen 2, and Tepig from Gen 5.
What was the science behind this?
I don't know. I feel like they was like, these starters need a chance to rewrite their history.
What Chikorita was dog shit
It
in her
was.
respective
It was, but now
uh,
they got Chikorita stands on the internet, like essentially, like please, like not too much on Chikorita, like she deserves this, and da da da. She's an
compared to
icon.
Legends Arceus, right?
Arceus
Rowlet,
was also weird. Arceus was also weird.
I went right
Be
to
clear.
Rowlet. I got Rowlet on my run.
I think I did too.
I forget what I think I chose the water one, Oshawott, but
Oshawott, yeah.
but no, I didn't. I choose Cyndaquil, and I got rocked every time there was like an earthquake attack or any other fucking
Yeah, bro.
attack.
Cyndaquil, you better off getting him later in the game, bro.
Yeah. But these starters, I'm interested. Like, which one are you choosing?
If I were to play this game,
Okay,
which
all right, that's a big. I didn't even precursor with that. Like, if you were also to play this game, do
if
you
I were
like the
going to
first
play,
Pokemon Legends?
it was fine, Meals. I
Okay,
tolerated the first
okay,
Pokemon Legends. I thought
okay.
that it provided a cool battle system for a series that was, to
I
me,
wasn't trying to throw dirt on your name or anything by you saying
no,
you
no,
liked
I'm
it.
saying I did play it. I mean, no qualms about me playing again. I have my Switch right here, and I literally I thought about booting it up, but I have, I had no qualms about just the battle system. I did have qualms about the way that you progress throughout the game.
Yeah,
Very archaic. I thought the game ran really bad, but I did think that for what it was, this is what I thought a mainline should be, not what we got with Scarlet and Violet. And this Legends is the last game I said I will ever play from this. So, when I look at Legends ZA or ZA, whatever, I'm gonna be real. When I saw that trailer, I was like, "There's no way they can't just make this like look and look." Because the thing is, the frame rate was chugging even in the trailer.
And why is a game that looks like this coming out at the end of the Switch's life cycle?
that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think
Like
this is
that's
Switch or
that's
Switch Two?
that is
No,
bullshit.
my theory, my theory is that the main line is probably done. It's been rumored for a while. I'll just go ahead and just say it's been rumored for a while that the main line will come this year with the Switch 2. And that this is for people who don't switch over. But I'm like, who is not switching over to the Switch 2? Unless it's complete garbage. Like there's a lot about the Switch 2
So
that is
sorry, you're saying another like
Gen 10 will probably be next year. Is what
Okay.
Gen 10 will the rumor is that Gen 10 will be either in November or next March or something like that. That's been the rumor forever.
Okay.
That the reason they're showing this now is because they're gonna show isn't there like another Pokemon like tentpole thing in the fall?
I have
This will be
usually
something else.
if you announce the game, usually, but if they do Gen 10,
Yeah,
I'm
it'll probably
assuming they want a game to roll out with the Switch, so people
yeah.
buy this shit.
It'll probably be a Pokemon Direct that'll happen in the fall that lets you know that the new, because the thing is that the Nintendo is doing now is the same thing Sony's doing, where they only show off games when their release dates are within a certain window, and that usually is 6 to 8 months. So whenever Sony has a state of play conference, it's 6 to 8 months. Like the last one they did a week and a half ago, all the games that were shown are coming out from June to like September. So
Right.
they'll do another one in August where it's September to whenever. So I think that I do not think this is Switch 2. I do not think that they're going to put this on Switch 2 because Switch 2 can play Switch 1 games. So this is not going to be on the Switch 2 at all.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the Switch.
Okay. I was saying the same thing. I also think it'll be on the Switch.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Switch, and I think really like this will be the swan song of this era. I for better or worse, I think. But I do notice the hardware is chugging a little bit, and we're going on 10 years of this system. You're gonna start to notice that it's starting to fray a little bit at the edges. But from what I saw, like it just looks, it's a
To
Pokemon
me,
game.
to me, I was like, God damn, how uncool this game looks.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That
look
was
cool.
the two once I saw the main players, I was like, come on, guys, why the fuck you put them in that hat? I was just like, why do they have these hats on?
I think generally the design of the main protagonists of this era have been pretty bad. Like
Yeah, well, they
Very.
they don't want to. If you read a lot of the Pokemon leaks, you see that it starts out with an idea of like, we want this to look like Jennifer Lopez, and then it ends up being like some derpy girl that was in fucking high school who likes planes, who's now a flying type thing. Um, they from just kind of like the models of the people in this game, they try to be as least offensive as possible. Like smooth, let's make her look like a girl, but not too much like a girl. Where people start, or let's make him look like a guy, but like also like we don't want it to be like a dude's game. Um, there's a lot going on. They took out a lot of the aggression from the game from the first few series of the game, like where your rival really wants to beat the shit out of you, Pokemon wise. And now you just got this like companion also. The culture of Pokemon just in general, when you talk about Pokemon Day and like the evolution of this over the last like 29 years, the culture of Pokemon has really evolved in a way. And I don't know if it's mirroring society. It feels like it's way too extreme for society. Like this feels way too clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I said the same thing when I saw the trailer. It felt safe. And I
Yeah.
feel like it was following the trends of a lot of games that are out right now that are very popular in terms of their open world genre, but also adding a lot of things that just look weird. When he went up the elevator, jumped over the
I was like,
rooftop,
wait, he could fly?
I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
What is
I
this
was
trying to be?
He flew with his phone. His phone caught him to fly. I'm so confused, man. Listen,
Did you
here's the
see the new battle? I want to talk about the battle system really quick.
I did see the new
Because
battle system.
'cause
They've it's like it's a step further from the Arceus one. Um but they also changing things to make it a little bit more original. Like for
so
instance.
so the trainers and the Pokemon, they move around in real time. So like in the last one, like if
yeah,
you got hit,
theoretically.
yeah, they move around in real time, and it has like cooldowns on the buttons
Yes.
for when you move and
Cooldown for
shit
the
like that.
moves instead of PP for the moves. Um
And so addition to type matchups, they said I'm reading off the PR here. It says the new gameplay mechanics will consider such as precise timing for swapping out your Pokemon or using moves, or and the different lengths of time that it will take for moves to launch. Which again, these are things that we see in like Xenoblade, which is also on the
Mhm.
Switch, and other like action RPGs. And my
Rendered better on the Switch, by the way, by
yes,
these non. It's from what I've seen, and admittedly isn't as much as well, as I guess I should be commenting on this. The Pokemon's open world or semi-open world runs about as bad as anything could on the Switch, and that's in
yes,
comparison to um, Tears of the Kingdom, stuff like that, which runs very well. Uh, or something like I know the new one's not coming out on Switch, but
Xenoblade is the
Xenoblade
perfect
or
example.
the first Monster Hunter that came out on Switch,
Oh,
or the one that came
Rise,
out
yeah,
during the lockdown. Like
yeah.
the way that game ran. I mean, it wasn't the most elaborate game. It was certainly more elaborate than Pokemon, and it ran so much better. And you were going in, instance fights with 5 or 6 other people, uh bigger animations, and it just ran so much better than Pokemon, and it just feels like such a slap in the face.
And I'm trying to be, I can get very passionate and very real about it. I'm trying to be fair
mhm.
to this today. I'm trying to practice some restraint. But
Okay.
I wonder if like it's being noticed. I don't want I like the Pokemon used to not chase trends, but also in not chasing trends, it didn't create any new trends either. I
Yeah.
would really just love the series to create again. You know what I mean? Like this feels like it's chasing a lot of things that are already popular when putting the Pokemon veneer on it. And I was questioning. I was like, when did they get so safe? When did it get so kind of boring?
Um I would say uh probably this game. Probably no, actually I would say it's after Gen 6. Gen 6 to me was so weird currently about like the smoothness and like happiness and all this other like light nature of this game.
Yeah.
was that the original Pokemon X and Y, which is the region it's based off of, is not that.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much history with X and Y,
And I've never
which
played. Well, this is X and Y's town, right?
yes. So this
Okay.
is Lumoy City, and it's just one town within it, which the entire game taking place in one town to me is also
That's
something
kind of
that
crazy because
it's
didn't
Yeah,
Arceus? It was like mad places in Arceus.
I would
Arceus was
say
a whole region.
I'm interested in the single city aspect of it, both in terms of okay, Pokemon, even in lesser games, has always had at least some really good city design.
Yeah.
Uh, and like a lot of other games, it's like, oh, we don't actually get to really explore this place because only three of the buildings work, and I'm really only supposed to
Right.
talk to one person here. So it is
Not confirmed that
interesting.
that isn't the same here, by the way.
Yeah, true, true. It might very well be exactly fucking like that, but it does. It is cool that you can take the qualities of like, okay, the water aspect of this world isn't going to be at the beach; it's going to be in the sewer system or whatever. Like that is a cool thing. Now, do I
I hope you do get to
again?
go in the sewer. That
Uh,
would be pretty badass.
but again, Meals, we talk about this all the time on this show, or have talked about this all the time on this show. Conceptually, it's good. In practice, it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, it's
The other thing I'm interested in is it's a way to print money, but it is also not a bad setup. Is uh, it kind of gives you free story for expansion packs or for DLC? I guess saying nobody that fucking listens to this knows what an expansion pack is.
right.
It's free, DLC. Like, oh, you're going to the next city, but
Yeah,
instead of that
But
being
that, but
2 hours, that's the whole that's the
that
whole next
that is
game.
going to piss people off. There people I've never seen people this
more
low.
mad.
Yeah, people are mad. Like you're already
People,
starting off on the wrong. You're already starting off on the wrong foot by having those starters.
Does
right,
it,
Starting
right.
off with
Justin? Do you think that that's not what's likely to happen?
But I think,
DLC. I think
Like,
DLC. Well, Arceus didn't have DLC.
well,
okay, that's
no, it
fair. That's
didn't.
fair.
But I also think one of the main things that people are anticipating. So Mega is incredibly beloved mechanic from Pokemon
Mhm.
fans. It was probably like the last like major one because then they did like Z moves and terrestrial and all this other bullshit no one cares about.
It is Mega is the best of all of the
Yeah.
new
So
mechanics. I could live
the
without
idea
any
that
of
there's
them.
yeah, well, the idea that there'll probably be new ones, especially the three starters who don't have ones, is probably what's going to make people more interested within the starters. Now, if they somehow just told us that they weren't going to have any, that would be crazy. But um, I would say, kind of going back to my original point of like the Kalos thing, like the X and Y had so much history in terms of like what happened leading up to the events that happened in the game. This like war that happened between this region and another region, and they bring it up also, I think, in the Galar, Sword and Shield. They bring it up a lot there, which is why people thought that it would be a Kalos remake coming in the future because of Sword and Shield would hint so heavily towards this war that happened a number of years ago. And so much that even the hotel owner AZ, I'm like, this is AZ went through some shit in the last game. You know what I'm saying? He had the
Yeah, and then
giant
he then he
weapon.
then he got onto the Kendrick album. His whole world has changed.
And he now he's just like the guy who owns the hotel. I'm sure there's a deeper story within this, but
Do you guys expect that? I'm looking at a comment right now. He said that this looks to be a step up from Scarlet and Violet in Legends Arceus.
Wrong.
And I just don't
Scarlet and Violet's so low for me that anything else can be a step up to
Scarlet
be
took
really
it,
good.
but then it had to get patched multiple times for it to even be in any type of state. I already see the frame rate chugging, bruh. And I'm
Well,
sorry, like
they've had
this,
longer to work on this game than the previous games. All
yes.
of the previous games that
I'll
they've
be
had to
honest.
work
I
on
don't
for
think I
sure.
finished Scarlet and Violet.
I didn't the DLC. I bought the DLC like a dumbass and never fucking finished it. So
Like I'm looking at Scarlet and Violet stuff, and most of my
it
Pokemon
was
on Switch memory is Sword and Shield.
it was the worst kind of experience I had finishing a game. Like it I had to chug along to finish this game. I wasn't really
Yeah.
that interested in a lot of things that are happening. Also, they make the new mechanics, like one of the reasons why I never truly like finished the decks in Pokemon Legends Arceus was that it was so hard to, because you
Yes.
had to catch 8 Pokemon to be able to fill up the entry
Mhm.
for the fucking
Yes.
thing.
That's why I never finished it. I was just like, this is tedious as hell.
This is exhausting.
Some of these Pokemon are really, really annoying to fight too. Like you can't
Yeah.
kill them. And it's like, is that gonna be the same? Who knows? Like, the argument seems to be around will mega evolutions be in this? And like, sure, that's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, my argument is that like, is this even gonna be worth you going back and putting 100, 200 hours in? I think the last Pokemon game I really, truly fucking loved was X and Y. And to be fair, I put 200 hours in a Sword and Shield as well, but X and Y was like one of my favorite entries of all time. I,
Well,
I, I have not found
this is
that
the
love.
remake of that. I mean, well, not the remake, but I guess the addition to it. But it doesn't really feel like it have the X and Y. It doesn't
Swag.
even, yeah, because like X and Y was like, remember France? Well, what about France and like it doesn't even mention that,
Get ready to learn French, buddy.
yeah, or any of the rather. What was I gonna say? So how do you feel? I want to ask Pat about this because the underlying gimmick or seeming story for this game that the Lumio City is going under urban development.
I laughed at that so hard. Like, okay, not only is it undergoing urban development, which like basically means like there's going to be a ton of goofy gimmicks for you to look at while you play this game.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's undergoing urban development. The biggest city in the region, by the way, is undergoing urban development to finally allow humans and Pokemon to
So,
truly coexist. Now, what's interesting about that is every single moment of Pokemon we've been shown in video games and anime for the last
that's
30
exactly what I was
years,
gonna say.
in which they have total synergy. It's amazing. They live in
No, but we
seemingly
need them
in a near
closer.
paradise.
The Pokemon within the streets, on top of the buildings, in our yards.
How could it be better? The Pokemon they have the love and loyalty of pets, near human consciousness. They love doing boring jobs. They love lifting.
Camps.
If there's one thing about a Pokemon, that motherfuckers will be lifting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will lift. And now, but you know what? Thank God for these urban developments. And now we'll truly be able to exist side by side.
Well, they show the CEO of the Quasartico Inc. giving big villain vibes. Not gonna hold you.
I don't know. They've got a long list of admirable CEOs in this universe.
No.
Yeah, where is Luigi, Mon? Where's he?
That would be dope. Just a starter design after Luigi. But no, yeah, they give him big villain vibes. Like they usually do. Remember the chairman they showed from Sword and Shield, and it was just like, you look like you're not going to be with us for all of the game. And sure enough, I'm sure she's going to. We need more gentrification. We need more. We need to push these people out. Let's get these people with homes and take them out of their homes and stuff like that. I wasn't enamored with this trailer overall. I mean, I was pretty, especially considering they announced it last year. They provided no update news for literally a calendar year. And then they kind of like show this with no new Pokemon, kind of nothing to really bite your teeth on. The coolest thing that they did over the last number of years was when they added the DLC to Sword and Shield and they showed us like the artwork of the new legendary birds. They were like, we don't have the graphics yet. We didn't build the shit out yet, but at least here's what they're going to look like. And I was like, I can take that.
Yeah,
Like that was fire.
Wasn't there more stuff announced during these? I was just like, this just seemed like it could have been an email for some of this stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, it's gotta be bad news. There's gotta be, it's probably like 16 new Pokemon flat. And 3 of them are and 6 of them are gonna be mega evolutions. So usually when you don't hear any good news, it's usually bad. I'm not sure what the moves are going to look like. I mean, last Legends Arceus, they took out a lot of moves from the games, but it was fine. It ran how it ran. But yeah, this
Honestly, we're talking about them not now they're following trends. If they're gonna do that, the trend they need to follow is the uh Fortnite OG World of Warcraft Day One trend, where you we just play a game that's completely disconnected from everything else they've ever done.
Yeah,
Because
go
like,
back to Kanto. The biggest way
yeah,
they can make money is to go back to Kanto and just remake that shit like one to
hmm
one, the way it looked
they
back in
like
the day.
they did that like 10 years ago. Like
maybe they if they
they
weren't
needed. I
so
mean, they can
obsessed
do it
with
again.
making it, they want it to look like, I mean, especially the way they basically want the people and the Pokemon to look the same now. Like they're taking a lot of the design itself out of the game. Like they're literally designing fewer aspects of the game in, you know, on a higher powered machine. Like at a certain point, it went from like, oh, we can, we can make the game look better, but everything in the game itself is going to look worse. And you look at like, how Haunter or Marowak or like Blastoise was designed, in those original sprites. And sure, the
Right,
one that's like, the one that's in Sword and Shield or Arceus or whatever, it quote unquote looks more like Blastoise is supposed to look or something, but it looks flat and boring and
right.
untextured, and it's
Yeah, and
they
just how
they need to redesign this whole thing.
Yeah, and even so, how they were incorporated within the game itself. I mean, you'll remember all the times you'll remember Lavender Town and like the tower. You know what I'm saying? With the
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
or you'll remember the routes where certain Pokemon were, or you'll remember this and like kind of how they were incorporated within the game. Now everything is just so like all over the place because it's like this open world. I don't think this game will
Hmm.
be open world though, but um, they're just kind of like here's where they're at, and they might change at 6 p.m. But then there
Hmm.
also might be like it's Pokemon could do better, and like you said, for that for a title that used to like kind of like more make the trends, they haven't really made a trend since Pokemon Go. But there's
Like remember
certainly
how crazy the phone was in Gold and Silver?
yeah,
Like when they would
calling
call
people,
you.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and all the other stuff like that. But the original concept, I mean, it's just so this game is so sterilized compared to what it was before, where you would seem like it would feel like real drama was actually happening, but instead, like Scarlet and Violet is like these kids dropped out of school and now are causing a ruckus on the streets. But you don't want
Yeah.
to make
I
them
mean,
too much of like thugs, but you want to keep them like
there's even the like, I mean, these are, I'm going to reference two things we reference constantly on this show, but like there's always the like the interesting kinks that they have when something is still new and before it is completely of its own world. And we have Lieutenant Surge talking about the war or whatever.
right.
Uh, and it's like, okay, well, now they would never say that there was a war in Pokemon. Even Lavender Tower is very grim compared to anything they would put out now. And even the dude outside of Mount Moon, the old man who rips you off and sells you the magic carp for like 5,000
Yeah.
gold or whatever it is,
I forgot
even
about that
that
guy.
is like, dark compared to what they would put in the games now, which would be like, here's a level 19 magic carp. It needs one experience and it will become a Gyarados for you.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
it's
Uh,
really
They
made it.
attempted. I feel like they attempted that fish out of water type. And I agree, Pat. That like that fish out of water aspect is like you were the avatar of the character that was just going out into the world for the first time,
Yeah,
and
mhm,
like that
mhm.
experience carried for 3 generations. Then out of nowhere, it just stopped because you just had everything as soon as
Yeah.
you had the game. So
And a
like,
certain part of that is unavoidable. That's just how
yeah,
it goes.
because we have to. But I mean, it's unavoidable. But at the same time, they still fucking walk you like a baby through every single one of
Hmm.
these games, and
Hmm.
they handhold you. But I thought Sun and Moon also gave me that
Sun and
experience of
Moon.
that fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sun and
Yeah.
Moon also for the first once you got past the first hour, which they did hold your hand very tightly and said like
That's
islands,
just Nintendo
kahunas.
now, though. Like they
Yeah,
won't, you know, it's
yeah.
even starting to happen on their third party games.
Yeah, it's too much, to be honest with you, where there's not really any like you said, you are the avatar for essentially what you kind of do in the game instead of the game kind of,
And it's
holding you
weird
in.
that, like, now we have this, it's one of the biggest franchises on the planet: video games, movies, TV, anything. Pikachu is so iconic, but a lot of the, why we like it is still boils down to that initial intrigue where it's like, oh, you're talking about, like, this game almost takes place in our world, the very first Red and Blue games, because of the stuff that they're talking about. It's like in you know Empire Strikes Back, when Han Solo tells to somebody, "I'll see you in hell," and it's like, does hell exist in Star Wars? Like, do we have hell here? I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought this was like
but
kind
it's
of a
still
different place.
and it's
Right.
still some element of corporeal like reality. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
where it stays at there. But I think that like even within the game, it's like you look at ZA and you look at Arceus, and it's like it just seems so incremental. And it's like these games just never. It felt like Madden or
Yeah.
2K. Like it looked like that. Where like
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
add a new button, and it's like okay, this is just that, but we waited 3 years for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just seems at this point, my hope, and I have very big, demands for me to even consider a Switch 2 right now. My hope is that the main line does make me excited again. My hope, like I know the Mario game is gonna sell me, but I
Mm-hmm.
need more than I need something to keep me on there. And Pokemon will be the thing that would keep me on there. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to give up on this franchise that's brought me so much joy. Like I'm back into playing Pocket and I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking at some of the Scarlet Violet Pokemon. I'm hoping that they come to the Pocket game because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play the actual game. But like, like
Mm-hmm.
I see what they're doing with the main TCG. They're adding Mega Evolutions back in the way that they change up the TCG so much. Like I want to get back into it, but Nintendo, Pokemon Company, I won't blame Nintendo. Pokemon Company makes this very hard to do
Yeah.
because of the way
Yeah.
that they do this stuff.
Well, I don't know. I guess they're afraid of being. I don't know if they're afraid of being canceled. Pokemon will never be canceled. Pokemon's going to be rich forever.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I guess I just don't know what they have to lose. Like,
yeah,
they've been popular for this long, and they haven't really had, the chance for, both legacy titles and new titles to take them
Even their
down.
L's,
the
Like,
games would have to sell marginally less.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Even their L's are W's. Like
yeah,
Yeah,
Scarlet
exactly,
Violet's the
exactly.
highest selling
Scarlet.
Pokemon game of all time.
Yeah,
Take a
it's
risk.
nuts.
Like, just make a different type of game. I mean, I'm looking at the
Yeah,
list, and I even, like, honestly, after
and it's
Sun
like
and
what?
Moon, I really just, like, start to lose track of, like, what even happened.
Well,
Really,
I
like,
love
it's
Sword and
like,
Shield.
What were the
I don't.
Sun
I mean,
and
I don't.
Moon ones
It's
all
not
about?
even anything against Sword and Shield. I
No,
played
no,
the
no.
shit
I
out of that
understand.
game. But just like, it's like Justin was saying, it becomes like Madden, where it's, every single one of these. Who's on the cover. Who some of the gym leaders are, and then slowly but surely it starts to just. I
Yeah.
can't keep track of all this anymore.
Would you say, Justin?
I'm trying to look for the Pokemon from Gen 7 and see if I remember any of them.
Sun and Moon was, I think it was Litten.
I love Litten.
Litten was
I think
cool.
who did I pick?
It was
We played that.
Litten, Rowlet. Well, no,
I picked
was it
Rowlet.
Litten, Rowlet, and Poplio?
I
Yeah,
picked Rowlet
Okay,
because
that's actually, wait. Who's Poplio? The
Poplio
pig?
is the seal.
he's
Oh,
a
you
seal.
know what? That wasn't a bad. Those were some of the better starters in recent
Yeah.
years.
Nah, they were
Man,
cool.
I really did. I didn't fuck with Sun and Moon, but I fucked with a lot of the new mons there, and that's when I fell off.
Well, these are our early thoughts of the game. Who knows when they'll release additional information about this? I'm assuming we'll get another update on this game in the next maybe 3 months. But let's see how this goes. Let's see how everything rolls. As of right now, I'm not that excited about the game, but it is what it is.
Well, you don't have to get it.
I mean, I really don't. But I'll see how it goes. But I'm literally itching for like some new thing to play. But thank you, Justin, for joining us.
The girl took me from Milton. Cleveland. No problem.
Pafif?
Love being here.
See you in another 6 months when they announce something else.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
well,
you.
or if Pocket dies, I'll be there to give the.
I'm gonna have so many cards.
Well, you gotta
Of
get
course.
the premium, bro.
Well,
I
I
will.
I don't get the premium. You don't need the premium to play. But with that said, thank you guys for tuning in, and of course, we'll see you next time on Mount Silver. Take care.